Cherry. I was told about the Redemption Room from Kimberly, and what I plan to get out of this is either help with my nonprofit in my woodworking business or a job opportunity.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Redemption Room. We are here to have a transformational conversation about second chances, perseverance, and obtaining success through the realm of entrepreneurship. I am so excited to have this conversation. I'm here. I'm Roxy, also known as Sugar Rocks, and I have my beautiful 4 co-hosts with me. We have Leslie, Benita, Yolanda, and Tasha, and we have the beautiful Amy with us. I'm so excited that you decided to come and chat with us and share your story. Yeah. So we like to start off by, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. My name is Amy Cherry. I was incarcerated from, I got locked up and went to prison September 2014. And I filed an appeal and I was released January 2018. Since I've been home, it's been challenging. I have 2 children, but God blessed me. In 2018, the same year that I came home, I purchased me a home. That was it was like hard because the first house, the lady stole my deposit and the police wouldn't do anything. But I was able to save a little more money and I purchased the house. So my house is paid for. I have a couple of cars. And I just recently went to school right before Corona in 2019. And I did a celebrated course at Macomb Community College. So I have the degree in robotics technician, but the job hired me as a facilities tech because the person that I was supposed to replace didn't retire. So instead of not hiring me, they just switched my title and hired me. I do woodworking. I have a woodworking business that I do out of my basement, and I'm trying to get that up and running and everything. I also do events and stuff for domestic violence and sexual assault prevention and awareness. I tell my story of how I ended up in prison. I was in a super abusive relationship, name it, he did it, shot at me, poured gasoline on me, tried to blow my house up a few times. He's shot my friends and I pressed charges and everything, and we walked out of court together. We literally walked out of court together. He was laughing. But in 2013, he raped and sodomized me, and I shot him, and I ended up in prison. And it was like my first time ever being in trouble. So it was like very super traumatizing, ever being in jail and everything. Behind the rape, I found out that I was pregnant. I had my first abortion at 32. And right after that, they first said it was justified homicide due to the history with us. And they came back and said first degree premeditated murder. And the judge, when he shot at me and poured the gasoline on me, was the same judge that they gave me. During my incarceration, I did a lot of advocacy work for lifers, for women in the same situation as me. In prison, I was sexually assaulted by a woman, and they wouldn't do anything. So I kind of felt like the system was just failing me all around. But like I said, I filed an appeal, and I won it. And I was released January 2018. My other release date was December 2019. So I thank God that I'm home, and I just try to do what he leads me to do. I have good and bad days, you know, like anybody else.
Right.
But I continue to push forward. I'm working on my nonprofit. A pastor that I just did a event for because October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So she said that she will definitely help me register it and get it up and running and everything, because I plan on getting a house to allow survivors to come to the house if they need to stay, because a lot of people don't know that shelters have waiting lists. It's just not that like when you do get the courage to leave, when you do get fed up, it's very hard, because it's like now you're homeless, you're sleeping in your car, but it's a lot of different places that help women and men in the same situation. So I want to be a part of that because it's my experience, and I didn't have anybody to help, and I ended up in prison. I know everything happens for a reason, so I'm not bitter about it. It was definitely an experience I wish I didn't have to experience, but I did. So my end goal is to help somebody else and to move forward. Healing is an everyday process. And as far as like jobs, being on this side, being a felon, it's definitely something else. I got turned down from so many jobs due to me being a felon. It doesn't matter whether I'm qualified, you know. At my current job, I don't get paid double time. I'm literally working 7 days a week, but I'm very thankful for my job. But I don't get benefits like the rest of the people. So, you know, it's like it's draining. It's like 7 days. That's for like them 20-year-olds. I'm 40. Like I'm tired. I'm like, it's hard getting up every day, you know, and I'm working midnight. So it's pretty crazy. So yeah.
Wow. I love your story. I always say that sharing your story is a two-way street. Like, it unveils the pain in you and like sets people free. And you are literally like an exemplification of that. I love that so much. Thank you so much for being so transparent and sharing your story with us, because not everybody feels that free to share and even willing to pull someone up that experienced that too. You know what I'm saying? So to see that you've been through it, you are a survivor. Like, I'm almost over here like crying because you have a phenomenal story. Like, people don't know, like, domestic violence, it's a real deal. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they overlook it or overthrow it. It'll be okay, or they don't take it serious. But it's people who are dealing with that every single day, and to know that you just thrived in the midst of your adversity, I truly, truly appreciate that. So I know that my co-hosts probably have some amazing stories to share as well, and also some amazing questions to ask you.
Sure. I thank you so much for coming. We appreciate your transparency. For me, I would like to know, basically, what is your drive? What is the thing that drives you the most? Coming out of incarceration, what is the thing that just wakes you up in the morning to keep going?
God giving me another chance. While I was incarcerated, like before I got incarcerated, I went to church. You know, I took my kids to church and everything. While I was in there, you know, it was I dealt with a lot of changes. I lost faith. I gained it. I lost it. It was hard. I kept asking God why, and it was like, why not? It was supernatural things happening to me in prison that kept me believing. And Philippians 4:11, it says, I know how it is to be well fed, hungry. My family turned their, like, I don't want to say turned their back on me, but they wasn't there. I do it for my kids. I do it for all the rest of the survivors. because it's a horrible thing when you're lonely. You know, I think that I have literally felt every negative emotion one can feel, you know, from guilt to shame, embarrassment to relief, you know, that I didn't have to be hurt by this man anymore, you know, to I gained joy, and people used to ask me, like, in such a dark place and everything that you went through, how can you still smile and laugh, you know? And that's the joy that God put in me, you know. So I do it for everybody else to overcome that dark place.
But thank you for that, because we really, as women, as Black women, we need that, because a lot of times people can't tell their story. So people like you that's telling your story is going to make a difference. So we appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Well, I have to, of course, commend you like my sisters have. You do have a testimony. And I thank God that you recognize that it was God.
Oh, yeah.
Was, still is. You know,
Absolutely.
I have to say that you came out with a plan. And it sounded like you executed that plan.
Oh, yeah, and everybody was, from my pastor was telling me, don't buy a house, get an apartment. And, you know, I was so discouraged, you know, nights of crying to still now nights of being thankful, to seeing where I came from.
Right.
People just talking down to me like, you can't do that. But, you know, I remember who I am. You know, and I'm a child of God, and I'm an overcomer and a conqueror.
Yes.
So it's like, you know, what you have to say, it doesn't matter.
That's
you know,
right.
It's going slowly but surely. So, yeah.
Okay, but my question to you is, you mentioned woodwork and that you have a wood shop down your basement, is
Yes,
it?
in my basement.
That is something I recently started getting an interest in. How did you get into woodwork? What made you get an interest in wanting to do woodworking?
Well, I like to work with my hands.
Okay.
I like to take stuff apart, put it back together. When I moved out my mom's house in 2003, I built my first desk, the first computer desk, and I really liked it. During my incarceration, I took building trades.
Okay.
And it was more woodworking. So like we built stuff like the picnic tables that we would sit on in the yard. We built like the warden's furniture, everything that was pretty much in the prison. Built out of wood, prisoners made. So I said, you know, I really enjoyed it. So after I purchased my home, I started to invest in me. I bought miter saws and circular saws and drills and stuff, and I went at it. It's been challenging because people don't want to pay that price, and then due to the pandemic, wood is super high.
Right.
So it's like people think like you try to get over on them, and it's like, no, like I just made me a picnic table for my backyard, and I literally spent like $180 for the wood. Prior, it would have been like under $50, you know.
Right.
But it's like, you know, I have a picnic table in my backyard. If I have parties, get-togethers, or whatever, you have a sturdy table that's not gonna blow over. That's gonna last in the winter, the rain, hail, sleet, snow. You know, and it's like it's long. It could sit like 10 people on it. So, yeah, I enjoy it. It's like stress relief.
I was just about to say,
like I be in my
I
zone. I be in my zone. I do benches. I've done aquarium stands, picture frames. My friend that I just helped get a house, like coached them through everything, helped them build his credit and stuff. I just refaced his kitchen cabinets.
Wow.
So they're like shaker now, and Yeah, like
That's awesome. I
That's
love
awesome.
that. I love
Amazing
that.
skill set.
Awesome.
Yes, it is. I love
Especially
to see
for a
women.
woman.
I love
Right.
to see women doing that.
Yeah.
I love
Especially
that.
I do stuff and like post it on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and stuff. So like, you know, it's like I can do it, you can do it too. Like it's not that hard.
Yeah. That's wonderful, Amy.
Thank you.
So, Amy, I can't even tell you that I have a question, but I do want to express this to you. I appreciate your story. I appreciate everything about you. You are the bomb.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I got mad, though. I got angry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, honey, I would have I've been right next to you in prison, rocking with you in prison, because that's what would have happened.
Mhm.
So I don't want you to feel ashamed, girl, because you are the bomb. Listen, you are doing things that people didn't do, and we've been out here while you were incarcerated.
Right.
So know that. And also, I was listening to Remy Ma,
Mhm.
That's my girl.
and I want to give you
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
So she said everybody was telling her that she wasn't going to be anything, that she was done for because she walked out of prison. And she said, but my brother, Fat Joe, he said, nothing can stop us. We all the way up. All the way up. So what I want you to know that nothing can stop you.
Mm-hmm.
You all the way up, baby.
Yeah.
You have so much to bring to
Yes.
the table. I love your tenacity, your wherewithal.
Yes.
You are the bomb. I appreciate you coming and sharing your story.
Yeah.
And I want me a dressery face too.
I think you have to get
I
you about to get a couple orders.
But I do know that even our everyday life, when we have experienced traumatic situations, we have our good and our bad.
Mhm.
And the key source that you mentioned is God.
Yes.
He will never leave us, forsake us. And sometimes you just got to hold on. You
Right.
say He gave you that peace that that surpasses all understanding.
Absolutely.
And that joy that you couldn't explain, but you got it.
Yeah.
So you hold on to that, and you may keep Him the center. I don't have no question. I'm sorry. I just have to encourage you.
Yeah, that's some strength.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I wanted to ask, you said that, with your job, you're not entitled to some of the benefits that the other employees are entitled to. Is that because of your felony?
Well, yes and no. They asked me about my felony. It took a couple of weeks for them to talk to the head people to hire me. They went ahead and hired me. I feel like it has something to do with the felony also being like a contract person. So it's like they could just get rid of me at any given time, So it's like that's like scary,
Yeah.
And
It's scary because this is how I pay my bills,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So but for right now, it's like, what else do I have?
Right.
Right.
It's like really super hard for felons.
Right.
If you have like all of these places that say that they're gonna hire felons, they get
felony
money back and
friendly.
everything.
Right.
It don't like. I literally Uber, Lyft, all of that. I tried to do that. They turned me down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you try and sometimes you just have to take what you get, but keep pushing
And
to get better.
Right.
And I asked that question because, I understand that this is your, for now, but once you feel like you're getting better or once something better comes, which I know it will, you should look into labor law
Yes.
because that is abuse.
Yes.
Because you supposed to be treated fairly, and
Yes.
that's you're being treated unfairly, no matter what your felony conviction is.
Right.
They are not supposed to decriminalize you and say, well, we're going to put you on this, and then this is what it is. I get treated fair like everybody else.
Yes.
Also, I wanted to say, because I'm a survivor of domestic violence myself, and I was in a situation to where I had an ex who was, when I say I was young, but he was older than me, and it was controlling, abusive, and I didn't know he was married, and it was bad to where I couldn't wear dresses. I couldn't wear shorts, basically capris and tops.
Control.
He had people watching me. I couldn't do anything. And when I found out he was married, he attacked me and the wife.
Wow.
And it was kind of like, well, why are you mad at me?
Right.
Because I'm
Because
addressing the
you
issue.
found out his secret.
Exactly.
Right.
But I wanted to say to you, because you're my sister, that it's okay. Yeah, and you no longer have to suffer that
Right.
part of suffering. And like I said, I've been there. And I give you strength. I give you strength. And I'm so glad that you're staying faithful and prayerful, because I mean, when I say I was there, where I felt like, God, why did you allow me to go through this? And like you said, everything happens for a reason. And even with your story, I feel like if it hadn't have been him, it would have been you. And I'm so glad you is sitting here right now.
Absolutely.
And oh Jesus, I'm trying, because
It's okay.
when I say when I read your story, I felt that connection instantly, and I'm like, I gotta talk to her, because I've been there, and I'm like one of the biggest advocates as well when it comes to domestic violence, because who deserves to have somebody put their man or a woman, because men suffer through domestic violence as well.
Right.
And sometimes you grow up and you think that's okay.
Right.
My attitude now when it comes to men and putting their hand, I don't care if it's my sister, my neighbor, we're not doing that.
Right.
And from me to you, I love you.
Thank you. I have a question for you. You know, it's something that's bothering me about the state of Michigan is there's no laws in place to protect women. They will literally give you like a death sentence for like hurting an animal. But they will not do anything to a man that abuses a woman or whatever. And then, like you said, men go through it too. And a lot it's because of judgment. Men don't usually come out and say what they've been through. But I've worked with men also, because they feel like super embarrassed, because people are going to say, oh, well, you let that woman hit you and you didn't do anything, you know. And it's like, okay, well, kudos to him for not hitting, you know, knocking her out or something, you know, because if he did, then he'll be the bad guy. But was that your first domestic violence situation?
Yes, and it wasn't my last. Even with like my current ex, we had some little altercations, and when I say God, listen, the strength came from, I have brothers, you know, and my big brother, he always taught me before he passed away, he said, never turn your back on your enemy. I will never forget that. And I'm thinking that this is the love of my life, my childhood love, but we in there banging like two people on the street. And for me, it was like, he been in prison. You know, he shot someone. And it was like, why do you feel it's okay to put your hands on me when I'm doing nothing but loving you? Like, I'm loving you past all your pain. I'm loving you harder than your mother and your father. Gave you a beautiful little girl, and yet you feel it's okay to put your hands on me. When you say that there's no justice for women or men, I agree. However, it depends, because with my exes, the police, my first domestic violence situation, I was scared to talk to the police. They were standing right there. And the look this man gave me, like he told me, he said, the B word, I'm the devil and I got your soul. And if I go to jail, my brother will kill you and your family. And I was young. At that point, it was just like, he didn't touch me. And the police see it in my face like, yes, he did. But I don't want my family to get hurt, and I don't want to get hurt. And then with my second domestic violence relationship, they had my entire house surrounded to come get this one. And how he managed to break away and like run. And to this day, you know, I look at it like, okay, we're not together. It is what it is. They dismissed it without prejudice, but they can always bring it back. But I've learned this, and I even tell my daughters and my son, nobody has the right to hit you. Nobody, and you don't have a right to hit nobody either. But if you feel like, because I know a lot of women I've heard say, what now? What do? I don't have you have a choice. You have a voice, and there are options. It's just women get scared. And we don't have, especially if you don't have support. There's no outlet. And all you can do is stay there, deal with it, and pray to God that you live through it.
And sometimes they're embarrassed just at the act that it even took place.
Exactly. And it's a hard thing. But I'm glad you're healing. Again, I seen your strength. I pray your strength, and so much love.
That's kind of crazy. You say your child's father did it because both of my kids are by one man, and that was my first domestic violence situation. I got with him when I was 16, and my mom pretty much let him move in with us. And he would do stuff like slap me, choke me, or whatever. But one time, like, he shook me, and I was pregnant, and I had a miscarriage. And then when I was pregnant with our son, he jumped on me and he did this when I was 21 years old. And this scar on my forehead, he did, and he bust my head in the back. And I live with these scars. You know, it's like, how could you do something like that to me? I remember trying to get the phone to call the police, and it was like on the stairs, and I was trying to get in, and he took it, and he was just beating me in my face with it, you know. And it's like, how could you do something like that to me, the woman that loved you? On top of that, we have a kid, and I'm pregnant with our next kid, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's just like no love, you know what I mean? But I just thank God I don't look like what I've been through.
And it's so funny because, like, one day I went, and I'm going to make this brief. I was in Ohio because my ex is originally from here, but he stayed in Ohio. That's where he was incarcerated at. So his grandparents was there, and I'll never forget. I went down there. Me and my kids, we go down there, and I was pregnant. This is way before I thought about having the 3-year-old. I was pregnant by him, and it was in 2017. And when I made it there, I get out the car, and I'm happy because this is love. This is like my childhood love. And when I get out the car, we go. His grandparents had a long driveway, so I go to the back, and we start fighting. Why are you fighting me? What? Like, I'm on the ground, and all I remember is just like hitting him in his face. Get off me! What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm pregnant. And when we got done fighting, I'm ready to go at this point. He was like, no, I'm sorry. Again, dumb, stupid. That was the love of my life.
Right.
He said, I was just playing. I wanted to make you mad for makeup sex. I'm pregnant.
Wow.
That happens a lot.
I'm pregnant. And I had a miscarriage at his house. And it was unfortunate because that was the love of my life. I thought that behavior was okay, even though I knew it wasn't okay, but it was so hard for me to just say, I'm tired of this, I'm done. And we recently just broke up last year. And again, our whole relationship, it was infidelity, abuse. The abuse, he said I was abusive, but I can't let you hit me and hurt me. I got kids. And my kids see this, so my kids trying to defend their mom, and it was just a whole bunch of mess. But like you said, when I talked to God, I'm like, look, I got to find a plan. I got to make a move. And my move was to take care of me, love on me.
Right.
I don't communicate with them. Like you said, nobody know what you've been through. They don't know your story until you tell them.
Right.
And your story can help a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, Amy, I do want to say it's wow. Like, wow, that's how I feel just speaking to you. So, me speaking to you with the energy that you're giving me, what would you tell a person that would be in your position? What would you tell a younger self of you to do in your position to speak out that you want to make have the same thing going on? Like somebody who wants to get away, or somebody who's in the same situation you was and want to leave.
Okay, I would tell my younger self and anyone else that's in a domestic violence situation to leave. I don't think that it gets better. We definitely have to pay attention to the red flags. Those are there for a reason. Trust your intuition and get out. If you don't have support, it's places out here that will pay for housing or to get you to another state to like start over. And I know like that's like huge and people don't really be wanting to leave, but you have to think about losing your life. Or in my situation, I'm not going to say I lost my life, but I lost some very important years out of my children's lives. You know, my daughter was a teenager. My son was 11 and she was 14 when I went to prison, you know. So get out. Get out. They're not going to change. when they, we stay because they say, I love you, I won't do it again. And in your heart, you hoping, like, you don't want them to do it again,
Right.
but it happens over and over again.
Can you share? I think it's so important, even when it's verbal abuse or an emotional abuse, and even with domestic abuse. What are, like, those red flags? I just wanted to be stressed, like how important it is, like seeing those red flags, because it goes over our heads so many times. But if you could just grab hold, because once you're in it, you look back and you're like, oh my goodness, like that was the biggest red flag.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. The going through your phone, oh, I don't want you to hang out with her, she's a hoe, like you gonna become one, or like, come on. The financial abuse, say for instance, it's so many different kinds of abuse, and then it's a power and control wheel, from the intimidation to the using the kids as pawns, and like something that he used to do when I got laid off, he would like put like $6 in the tank for me to be able to take him to work and make it back home, and I have just enough gas to go pick him up again. The verbal calling you out your name, like that's not cool. A person that loves you, they not gonna do that. They not gonna treat you like that.
Right. So, Amy, for you, what was that moment like? Or do you remember that moment when you just decided, enough is enough? I'm done. Like the next time he tries to put his hands on me, I'm going to fight back. Or did you always fight back?
I always fought back.
Okay.
I always fought back. When I pressed charges on him, the judge that I had a PPO, the judge that granted me the PPO is the judge that told me that I should go get a weapon. And I asked her, how do I go about it? She said, take the test, go buy a gun, you got to register it and everything. She said, like, he's crazy.
Right.
So that's what I did. I was scared. It was times that I called the police and they called him while he was there and told him to take a walk. It's times that he was literally kicking in my front door, and I called the police like they hear it. It was times that I took him back. It was like a vicious circle. I would say when he raped and sodomized me, I think maybe I snapped, or it was like, wow, even when he shot at me and poured the gasoline, like I think I was traumatized for a long time. I definitely wanted to be done. He had pulled his penis out while my kids was in the living room playing their game. He smoked and drank a lot, smoked weed, and was a alcoholic. And he pulled his penis out and peed on the recliner. And my children came in there and told me. So I figured I would let him sleep it off, and I would pack his stuff up, let him go to work, and then put everything out. But like that night, I guess like he woke up to go get a blunt or something, because how else you gonna know? Like I took my car keys and the house keys off, and he was like dressed in all black. I mean, a black hat, black gloves, black shirt, black pants, and his eyes was like bloodshot red. Like he looked like a completely different person. And like he woke me up and was saying, he said, bitch, you're not putting me out. Jesus. And he shot at my head twice. And then he pulled me by my feet to the edge of the bed and picked up the can of gasoline that I kept in the garage and started pouring it on me. And I was begging, like, please, because he had the lighter in his hand.
Oh, Lord.
And I was begging him not to strike it. The grace of God, he didn't strike it. And I remember him finally letting me go to the bathroom, and I was just sitting on the bathroom in the shower with the water pouring on me, crying. Like, my room, like, I don't think that gas smell ever left out my room, And I guess the neighbors heard the shots and they called the police. And he said, well, I know you didn't call the police. I said, no, you got my phone. How I'm going to call the police?
Right.
And he said, I'm about to kill me and you with my kids upstairs. And I talked them out of it. I told him I'm going to let them know we good,
Right.
Right. And he let me go to the door and I ran out. You would think like I would be done,
Right.
I mean, and I wasn't. I went through all that. I think it has to run its course.
Right.
Like with everybody, it don't matter whether you got family or friends telling you to leave this person, no matter how much they hurt you, you literally have to come to that point. And I wish that it didn't get like to that point. You know what I'm saying? That I had to shoot this man and he died, I wish when like all them thousands of times that I took him back or the times that I put him out, I wish I wouldn't have never let him come back, but I would have to say I think my breaking point was when I shot him.
Yeah. Well, I have to apologize to you because I know our system failed you. With all those police calls, the PPOs, a judge telling you to go get weaponed up, go get armed. I mean, you had the armor of God, but honestly, and I think it was Benita or Yolanda, it may have been Benita, I'm not sure, said that if it was not him, it would have been you. So I apologize, honey, because sitting from where I'm sitting at and the story you have told, your story, to me, there's no way in heck you should have done any prison time.
You know what? It was the premature, after he did it, going to get the weapon is what gave her the time.
Right.
Because
But as soon
say
as he got off of me, I got my gun.
Yeah.
And I fully cooperated with the police, And I mean, this is like, it's so crazy. I think, like, even now, I think of the days, some of the things, and then it's like things that I buried, and then I'll get triggered. I might be watching something and it'll bring, like, I'm like, wow, this man literally suffocated me. And I remember this day when he put a pillow over my face and I was fighting, and like, I was fighting for so long that I gave up. Mm-hmm. And right when I stopped fighting, he took the pillow off of my face. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, domestic violence happens so much. We taught to what goes on in our house stays in our house.
Yes.
That we think is normal.
Yes.
To be called out our names or hit or slapped or something. And there's nothing normal about that. It's nothing normal about that. This man, he was 10 years older than me. I found out he had over 20 years of domestic violence. I was the first one to press charges. And even with me pressing charges, we walked out of there together. They didn't charge him with his gun that was dirty. They, even when he shot my friends, because they wouldn't tell him where I was.
Well, you saying friends with an S?
Yes. My two friends, he went over their house because that's someplace where I would run to, and he shot my friend and his boyfriend. His boyfriend was able to get into the house, but my friend, he ended up getting shot in the leg, and dude was on probation at the time, and they still didn't do anything. And I'm like, okay, so he go get another dirty gun, and you guys still don't do nothing. But they gave me 2 years for my registered gun. And in the end of my trial, I ended up getting a lesser charge. My judge said, it must have been consensual because he didn't use a condom. And I said, so serial rapists use condoms, so all of their victims is consensual?
Right.
She wouldn't allow my rape kit to get processed. I obtained, when I got out on bail, I got the paperwork from the hospital, and it described my vagina and anus as rips, tears, and lacerations. But in the end, she wouldn't allow that evidence in.
Oh,
I
my
ended up getting
goodness.
a manslaughter charge for 40 months to 15 years, on top of my 2 years for my registered gun. And they would not run it concurrent, where it'd be ran together.
Right.
It was consecutive. So I literally had to do one charge
Right.
and then have to start on the other one.
Right.
So when I won my appeal, I came back, and in my appeal, like if you guys Google it, it clearly states that she made a mistake. But they said we're upholding her decision. But they sent me back to her, and I'm like, oh God.
Oh, no.
I'm like, I'm being punked like any day. Ashton
Right.
Kutcher is gonna
Go
pop out.
Right.
And I prayed for them to give me time served,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't. It's like, it's like,
Wow.
And so, Amy, for me, I'm a mother. I have 4 daughters, right? You have daughters as well.
I have a 21-year-old daughter and an 18-year-old son.
So, what type of conversation do you have with them? Do you explain to them what the red flags are, what to watch out for? Even yourself, are you scared for? Because I know I'll be scared for mine.
Yeah.
Because I can't make them make those choices. They
Right.
have to do it on their own.
Right.
So, how do you talk to your daughters?
I be straight up honest with them. Now, one thing that I was not honest with them about was what happened with their dad. I never talked down about him to them. So when I got locked up, they ended up going to stay with him. He wasn't an active parent, so they didn't know him. Like, once I put him out of my house, like back in 2005 or something, like, I left him alone. You know, he wasn't doing anything when he was there. And you know, he told them while I was in prison that I knocked my own tooth out. I did this to myself. And my children, you know, when I came home, they asked me about it. And I said, you know, I was gone for 4 years. Y'all lived with me all y'all lives. Have I ever been crazy like that? You know, so my biggest fear was for my daughter to find a man like her dad, or the guy that I killed, or my son to grow up to be like their dad or the man that I killed. And like, I'm like, if, you know, my daughter is in a situation, it's an abusive relationship. She claimed he doesn't hit her, but she's back and forth in and out of my house, from things that he do, to isolation, to control. I tell her about the red flags, like, since their dad has already put it out, because I told him, I'll pay for a lie detector test. Let's get this out in the open. You know, he didn't want to do that. So I ended up getting him on record, well, not on record, on speaker, to admit what he did, and the kids heard him, you know. So with them knowing that now, it's like, now they know what I endured with him, you know, as well as with the other guy. And I keep it real with my daughter. I try not to judge her, you know, but it's a lot when she come home and then that same day she back talking to this boy, and he outside my house acting a fool or arguing with him, and you know, it's like, that's disrespectful. Like, now you're bringing it, like, you're not even thinking about what it's doing to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I try not to judge her. I tell her, like, you can do better. But like I said before, this gonna have, it has to run its course with her. You know, it don't matter what I do. Like, I've even like tried to, I've even told her she couldn't come back home, and like, that broke my heart, you know. And it's like, now I'm sending her right back to him, you know. But it's like, you can't keep running
Going in
in and out of
circles.
my house either, and you go right back to them, you know.
Right.
So, but yeah, I definitely I don't hold anything back talking to them no more, because the worst with their dad, he done already told them it's out, you know. So it's
And
like
we
now
as
we
parents,
got
we
that
try to-
cleared up.
Yeah, break those generational curses,
Yeah.
basically,
Right.
because it is just a rotation.
Right.
It's just a cycle,
Mhm.
and it can be a vicious one.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
appreciate that transparency with
Yeah.
that.
Thank
I
you
have
so
a
much.
question for you. I'm sorry. So, you heard your past. What about your future? Do you see yourself being able to be in a relationship, trusting, loving someone in its full totality?
I believe I can. That's another book that I'm working on, because I'm trying to tell you, I think I get all the clowns, all the foolish, and I'm like, I can't make this up. Like, I can't make this up. I'm like, I don't know, like, what is going on, but I have definitely, despite what I've been through, I know all men are not the same.
Right.
And I have tried to date since I've been home. I have ran into, like I said, the worst of the worst. I haven't been back, I would say, not anything physical, but I say definitely emotional abuse.
Oh, yes.
People playing games.
Right.
So like, and I try to pay attention to the red flags or whatever. So like, I don't try to be petty and be like, oh, he said this, you know.
Right.
But I definitely pay attention. I be like, this is familiar.
Right.
You
And
know,
that's the
this
part
is
right
familiar.
there.
Like,
Yeah.
I already know what you on, so it's like move on out the way, buddy. Like, go play with somebody else, you know. But it's definitely hard. It's the dating game got pee and boo boo in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, one more question that I have for you. So, all of it that you have endured, have you really went and seeked any type of therapy?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
So, the state of Michigan, okay, they wouldn't let me see a therapist while I was in there. They said it's nothing wrong with me. They would not let me see a therapist, even after the sexual assault with the lady that kept touching on me. They would not let me see anybody. When I came home, they wouldn't help me with bus tickets, clothing, nothing. So actually, Kim, who told me about this place, I did an event for her Broken Panties
Broken panties,
event.
yes.
And after the fact, Pastor Sheffield came up to me and asked me, have I ever had grief counseling? I said, well, what would I need that for? You know? And she said, to grieve the loss of him, to grieve the loss of your unborn child, and for losing your life, you know. And I had never thought about it, you know, because all those years I dealt with it the best way I knew how. I just prayed, read the Bible, you know. So every Wednesday I talk to my therapist.
Girl,
Every
too.
Wednesday.
That's my day too. Mine at 4 o'clock.
It's mine is at 9 because I work midnights, and I thank God for her. She's a God-fearing woman, and she's great.
That's good.
wonderful.
She's
That is
great.
so
Absolutely,
good.
I believe therapy and prayer work.
Oh, absolutely. You need both, honey.
Yes.
You need your Bible and a therapist.
Yes.
Trust me. Oh, yeah, you need both, because we need to uproot, get delivered, you know what I'm saying, from ourselves, our thoughts, the deeds that had taken place previous. Yeah,
Right.
so.
And you've been through a lot.
Yeah, you have.
You've been through a
Honey,
lot.
just you sitting here is giving me strength, and I hope that you're pulling all of our positive energy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You are amazing, girl.
Absolutely.
You
I
are the
definitely
real.
put
Yes.
That's on your man.
Listen, you are the real Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I I definitely felt y'all energy when I walked through the doors.
And on a higher note, I want to know, where can somebody find you to get your wood? If somebody want a table, can we get?
Well, right now, just call me on my phone. Like I said, the lady I just did the event for, she's about to help me register it and get my name copyrighted and everything, so I can do it the right way.
Right.
So yeah, hopefully by the end of this year, everything will be in place. The book will be out and everything. So
I love that.
Amazing.
So that's basically, I want to ask you a question. So for your woodwork, you see that in a lane of, straight entrepreneurship?
absolutely.
Do you have, you might not, this is just a question. Do you have maybe a name for your business or something?
Yes.
I love it. What,
Yes.
do you want to share or?
I don't want to share it because
Okay.
she told me to
Wait till you
get it.
copyright it.
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
I do.
I can't wait to hear it though.
Yeah.
I see a big smile on your
I
face.
do. I
can't wait to hear it.
I still want my dresser though. I have to call you.
Yes. Get my number.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you have any social media platforms or anything that they
Yes.
can contact you on as well?
Yes. I'm on Facebook at Amy Living My Life Elizabeth, and I'm on Instagram as Elizabeth_Kershey. That's German with the Elizabeth spelled with an S.
Oh, okay.
So yes, it's ELISABETHIRSCHE.
Okay. Well, our viewers will be able to definitely.
Right.
Yeah,
And
that's
YouTube
Instagram,
too.
right?
What's your YouTube?
Oh yeah, YouTube. I think I don't know. I think it's like just Amy Cherry. I think.
Okay. Cause you can learn everything on YouTube now. It's a lot of stuff you didn't know. I learned how to change the water pump on the YouTube.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I do a lot of
YouTube's
stuff
awesome.
to my cars, and I've done like a lot of work to my house when I bought it. I redid my bathroom, like pulled the floor up, redid the toilet, laid a new floor down, bought a very beautiful vanity, put that in there, and I looked on YouTube. But let me tell you, YouTube don't tell you like about when things go wrong. I done cut through pipes and water on this splash, and I'm like, I'll get this under control. I done messed up. But I laugh at myself after the fact. But I mean that, hey. But I have learned a lot.
You learn, right? There you
Like,
go.
oops, didn't mean to do that one.
Right.
So yeah.
That's wonderful. Trial and error. That's okay.
Yeah.
So in exploring the realm of entrepreneurship, do you have like your personal definition of what you think an entrepreneur is or should be?
I would say believe in yourself and don't tell a blind person your vision.
Come on.
Now that right
Come
there.
on.
There you go.
Right
Yes.
Yeah, write that down, Rox.
Get it,
And
Rox.
you are so
I love
baby.
that.
That right there. Let me pass the collection
love
plate
that.
for you because you just preached the whole sermon.
I love it so
that
much.
so much.
And I've been there too, telling people,
Oh,
my
man.
ex, my 3-year-old's father, and my big mouth, everything, because I want to do this. I'm about to start my rental car thing, and I turned around, and everybody and their mama was doing it. I had a carpet cleaning business I wanted to start, and I guess he didn't feel the need to support it. Took it to his sister. Now his sister got it. I said, but that's okay, because now I'm gonna step away from that and do something better. Now I have my own businesses.
Right,
I'm doing my own thing.
Amen.
Right.
Hallelujah.
You know, and he
Not
can't, he can't take it. I just said keep moving in silence, and then when God's ready for you to tell your story,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
because he talks about shutting up in the Bible.
Yeah,
A whole
sure.
lot.
Yeah.
A whole lot. The lady,
See,
that
that's
son
the part,
that was on that donkey.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
They like, what's wrong? Nothing.
Nothing.
Good. All is well. Walking around Jericho. Shut up and just walk. He talk about
Picture
shut
your-
up.
Shut
Yeah.
your
Shut
mouth.
up.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's silence.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
see, that's why I tell people all the time. I say God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You're supposed to listen twice as much as you speak.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But you know, we don't think about the power of your thoughts and the
Your
power of your
tongue.
words.
That's
Yeah.
right. Power of the tongue.
And
right.
people will start speaking ill of you if
Yeah.
they see you prospering.
Yeah,
and they feel like
absolutely.
they're stagnant. So, you know, you have to take all of that into
Oh, yeah.
accountability or
Yes.
they'll come. You're so happy. Y'all ever been just so elated to tell a story and once you finish, you like, dang.
What happened to my
Like,
joy?
they came and snatched all your
Oh,
joy from your
snatched it,
feet
right.
to your head.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Been
Yeah.
there, done that.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Thank you so much for chit chatting with us, and I'm just happy that we're able to connect with you, and I pray that after today, that provision takes place with your gift,
Amen.
with our family, with Westwood. News.
Absolutely.
Redemption is here.
Redemption is
Yes.
here. Redemption is
Amen.
here. And stay with, I don't care whatever you get discouraged. Remember what Remy might say is nothing can stop us. We all the way up.
Absolutely.
It was such a pleasure meeting you.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you for
Pleasure
sharing
to
your
your
story.
stories. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for tuning in once again to the Redemption Room. Blessings.
Okay, so we got Amy, right?
Yes.
All right, so let's start off with Leslie. Leslie, give me your thoughts.
Oh, my thought with Amy is wow. She is very her story is captivating. I think as an entrepreneur, she has the drive. She absolutely has the idea of what she wants to do. So I think she'll be awesome for us.
Awesome as far as for a job or business partnership?
Both, actually. Both. That I don't know.
Okay, so you're leaning in on both. Okay, Tasha.
Yeah, so Amy is definitely a survivor. She said something that she, while we were speaking to her, she said, I'm glad I don't look like what I've been through. Because she has been through a lot and she has, the most beautiful smile, the most beautiful spirit. And I love that about her. I think that she has a talent that I actually don't hear too many women that is into this field, but I know that there are. She does woodwork. And I think she named some of the things that she's created with wood. And I know she has a studio in her basement as well. So I think entrepreneurship opportunity would be fantastic for her. But I'm also with Leslie, the job situation as well, offering a job as well. I don't know if we could do both, but if we could, this would be, to me, the perfect situation to do it. But if I had to choose, I'll say the entrepreneurship opportunity.
Okay. And we got Bonita. Give me your thoughts.
Amy was definitely something special. She had me in tears. Her story is definitely a strong story. She said, "Don't never tell a blind person your vision." That really touched me. I think she'll definitely be a good fit for the Redemption Room, the Westwood News Talk, for the business wise. She has her wood business going. She's trying to implement that now, but I think she'll be a great fit. She definitely has a lot going on, and she has. I mean, she's something special.
All right. And who else we got over there?
And we got Yolanda over here with the little cell phone thing. She go,
Yolanda, what you got?
Well, if I was to describe her in one word, I would say go getter. And then I'm going to put it to you like this. We can create a whole Angie's List for her and she'll be able to fulfill any order that we have.
Yeah. I saw that on her questionnaire. She's definitely a determined woman. So that's everybody, right? And Roxy, give me your thoughts.
She's just a powerhouse. I like Yolanda just said. I think that entrepreneurship would be great. I do feel that we could provide, a realm for her for work too if we wanted to, because she is not getting the treatment that she should be getting where she is, and I totally don't like that. But overall, she will be a phenomenal entrepreneur. To be a woman doing woodwork, I mean, come on now.
That will be amazing.
She's
Okay.
she's cute, so she'll get the attention of the media.
Beautiful.
All right, thank you, ladies. I think that we know which realm we're going to move in with her. Hi, Amy. How are you today?
I'm fine. How about yourself?
And welcome to the Redemption Room.
And thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So, first of all, I've heard some amazing things about you. I am Kimberly. I am the operational manager for Westwood News Talk and inside of the Redemption Room. And so thank you for being here today. I hear that you have some amazing skills, and it's just the phenomenal work that you have done since being released.
Yes.
How do you feel?
I feel good. The energy was definitely positively off the charts in here from the time that I walked through the front door. So yes, I feel good.
All right, good. So I've spoken with the team, and of course, being a phenomenal woman out here, you're in arts and crafts, and you just building houses and everything. And so, of course, we as women, and the many women that you have sat with today, we all believe in entrepreneurship, and we also talked about jobs. But the one thing that we want to offer you is a business partnership. We see that there are some amazing things that are hidden within you, and we want to bring that to light. So we want to partner with you in business. Is that something that you would be interested in?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is there anything that you would like to say in regards to being inside of the Redemption Room?
I thank you for allowing me to be here. I feel like I have released. I feel that God has definitely provided a great opportunity. It's definitely just, I'm overwhelmed. I'm definitely overwhelmed. I'm excited and happy to finally have somebody to help me, believe in me. And I'm very grateful and thankful.
Okay, well, great. Once again, welcome to the team, and thank you for being inside of the Redemption Room. We look forward to many meetups.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.